so our first story from today is from the subreddit Relationship Advice, posted 2 months ago. My 32 female husband, 34 male, got angry at me in the airport and is traveling separately, aka acting like I don't exist during our multi-flight travel day together.
How is that even possible? Okay.
Yeah, it's
I'm
I'm
like you want to ignore each other even though you sit right next to each other in the plane, or how
It
how
sounds
does
like
that work?
And especially, can you imagine? Like, I mean, she said multi-flight, so they have several different flights. They get to the check-in, and it's like passport, and he's like, yeah. And then passport of your wife. She doesn't exist.
Exactly. Like I don't know
okay.
you, even though.
No, I don't know you, but let's see what happened here. We've been together 10 years. This isn't the first stupid fight we've had while traveling, but there have been enough of them recently that I'm questioning what I'm even doing here. Okay. We had a fight before we got to security that made him embarrassed and furious, and he started walking really fast, acted annoyed at me when I didn't try to keep up. That's so petty.
That's so childish.
Yeah. It's like just
like at the end of the day they're gonna end up in the same hotel, you know, at the same room. Like they will have to confront
not
each
even
other
that, on the same plane seat probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
like, it's what? On a 13-hour flight. Imagine. No, I don't know. But I was walking normally and he's way taller. I'm not going to jog. Yeah. I wouldn't even do that. And then he told me he wanted to navigate the airport separately.
Navigate the airport. Okay.
Talking about childish, right? Because he's tired of me walking slow on purpose and not paying attention to things.
Man, if you have shorter legs, there's nothing you can do about it.
It's also like,
we were born this way, okay? We with short legs can do absolutely anything against
also,
you being,
even
faster than us.
It's just, what the heck? What an issue. Like, oh my God, you're
But
not
that
fast
makes me
enough?
wonder, like, what kind of thing did she do at the security checkpoint?
True,
for
I hope
him
she
to-
tells us, because
Okay,
if not, it's
yeah.
like a tainted story.
Mm-hmm.
He begins walking ahead of me, and despite a couple of attempts from me to patch this up, he ends up getting to our gate without me and sitting on the plane next to me, but acting like I'm not there.
No! Okay, that's a talent. Let's be honest.
I'm sorry.
If you are able to ignore someone who was sitting right next to you, whom with, you've shared your life and so
10
many experiences for 10 years.
This man is 34. 34! And he's acting like a 4-year-old. Like, what? The cause of the fight almost doesn't matter. Well, it does a little bit. A little bit. We
would
want
like to know.
We would like to know.
Yeah.
Okay, but when we arrived at the airport for a 5 a.m. flight, we were waiting in line for the airline check-in desk to open. It was 2:45 a.m. and they didn't open until 3 a.m. Wow, they were early. Okay.
But do you also have like parents like that if the plane departures at 7 a.m. they want to be there like at 4 a.m. just to be sure?
The best would be even the night before already.
Yeah. So I get that.
No, actually, I have the parents that almost never wanted to fly. I'm sometimes even surprised how my dad met my mom in the Dominican Republic, because after that, we never actually flew somewhere. It's like, what? I don't know.
All right.
But the good thing is I have a husband now that works at the airport, so he knows all the short ways.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I think now I became the person that's like, no, we need to be earlier there. Because I'm terrified something happens. And it happened one time that they didn't let us in anymore because we came too late. And I wanted to cry.
That's so traumatic. I don't know why it's so traumatic when that happens at an airport. Yeah.
I think it was in America, actually. I was like, we're never getting home.
We're going to stay in this shitty country.
No. Well, in the end, we ended up getting on a flight like 3 hours later, but I didn't know that at that point, okay? I was freaking out. I thought we lost
all
our
Americans
money.
think you want to stay in their country. No, you want to leave from there as soon as possible.
Which, quick side story, I just saw a TikTok where someone commented that she's an American and she's married with an Italian guy. And she was annoyed about all the comments from American people that told her like, oh, so he didn't only marry you because of the green card. And I just thought for myself, heck no. I mean, did you know the European pass is so much better? Like, I mean, if so, it would be vice versa. I mean, who wants the American pass if they could have a European one, you know?
European healthcare, European like education.
It's like, what? No.
Like, yeah.
Which...
And the green card is just, you know, only a residence permit if you work.
Yeah.
Like it's not even a residence permit that lets you like live your wifey life or husband life peacefully doing nothing. Yeah.
Which doesn't mean that we don't love you all. By the way.
But yeah.
But if you get a European passport, take it.
Yeah. Do that.
Okay, now to the story. Back. When it looked like an agent was turning on the self-help kiosk, I told him I was going to see if we could check in there. He apparently misunderstood my plan, and in the meantime, the agent arrived at the desk, and he was stuck with both our bags and couldn't get my attention despite calling my name. Okay, he felt angry and embarrassed and was mad at me for walking off and leaving him with the bags and not hearing him call me. I had already checked us in, so it was really no harm done, but I understand why he was upset. I don't.
Well, I mean, I just imagine being the husband, you know, carrying like the heavy bags, and you just calling your wife, like, I don't know, let's call her Stacy, and be like, Stacy, and she just walks on.
But don't you have a phone? I would just quickly call and be like, hey,
but
wifey.
Okay, but it's also kind of common sense that if you pass the security check that you need to carry your bags and not just go and leave your husband.
I mean, okay, he misunderstood her plan. I mean, she did tell him that she wanted to do that, and he misunderstood it.
Right.
So he just saw, okay, this woman is
this
coming
woman
and
is walking away and leaving me.
But
with
it's
all
also
the bags.
like, in that moment,
yeah.
as you know, this is your spouse, a person you've known for 10 years. It's not a stranger.
Yeah.
I would be the person that would be standing there and be like, trying to get the attention, but if not, I would just wait and see what he's doing or she's doing. And it's like, oh, okay, maybe I can go to her.
Yeah, like he definitely hyper-escalated the situation.
I mean, not talking for a whole flight or several flights just because of that is really exaggerated.
I think they both just have enough of each other by this point. Like after 10 years, like what is it there for them?
No,
but
seriously.
anyway, continue the story.
He was upset. I think if he had tried to talk to me about it and asked for an apology, I would have apologized. Okay. But he decided that he's done traveling with me and essentially started giving me the silent treatment. I tried approaching him at first in a friendly way and telling him I didn't want to be in a fight. We argued and he said I ignore him and I don't communicate with him and I make us late. I walk slow on purpose, etc. And he's sick of it. Okay. He accused me of gaslighting him when I disagreed with how he characterized my behavior. You're gaslighting her now, actually. That's irony. Okay. I eventually told him I was sorry it happened and I would communicate better next time. I have caused issues in the airport before that made us late and stressed him out, so he's not wrong about that. But his solution today is to act like we're traveling separately so that he doesn't have to deal with all the things I do to annoy him. Healthy marriage. Okay.
I'm just imagining them in a couch, you know, during a couples therapy session and him not talking at all. Like, damn.
And then he talks, he's like, she's gaslighting me because her character is this, and this bad. And she denies it. Like, what? I think this is ridiculous behavior when we're supposed to be starting a vacation. I've tried to write this in a way that doesn't make him sound like a total jerk. He does that himself. Because he's very sweet and caring at other times. But travel in airports cause him huge stress, and we really rub each other the wrong way when traveling. We're both low on sleep and have been stressed at work, but this behavior feels like such a massive red flag that I'm not sure if I can brush it off for the sake of the trip. How to approach this when he doesn't think he's even done anything wrong? Is this a reasonable thing for someone to do? Yeah, for a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
Not for a 34-year-old.
Yeah. Like, like even if you let's say after 10 years they do not have feelings for each other anymore. Let's suppose they don't feel romantically anymore. I, as a man, after spending so much time and organization and money for the vacations and the trip to happen, like I wouldn't see it's worth it, to have spent so much money so that I end up being like in a silent treatment, annoyed and like in a bad mood. Like it's just financially speaking not worth it to be in such a mood when as a man,
But then again, I think he in his mind is like, well, you already ruined it, so I'm gonna make you pay for it at least by feeling as miserable as I do. That's kind of the mindset he's giving here. And
ever since I became an adult and I'm financially unstable, I'm like, man, all the money that I invested for this, such wasted money.
Oh my goodness.
That must hurt, really.
Yeah, I mean, well, in the end, I don't know. It's definitely a ruined trip there. It depends on what he's doing when they're all there. I mean, if they don't just kind of cancel the trip because of this behavior, then if they manage to make it up, it can still be saved somehow. But it's just, what a childish behavior. I mean, and just noting, she said at the beginning that they've got in those kind of fights several times. Which is, seriously, why are you even keeping on traveling? Like, what the heck is this?
Like, if you already know that you both are not like the traveler type.
Yeah. Plan short trips where you at max fly 2 hours.
Yeah, and then that's it. Yeah.
So, top comment. How frequently do you have to fight with his anger? How many other similar examples are there each year?
Good question.
And someone replied to that, but not OP. Her post and account history says he does it a lot and has for years. Which is crazy. Doing this kind of behavior for years? Then the situation OP describes where her awful husband gets angry is a very simple, common situation that happens in lines all the time.
In lines?
I don't know. In lines all the time. We all just laugh about it. In what? I don't know. It makes me sad that Opie thinks husband is justified in being mad about that stuff. What the fuck? Oh, okay, someone wrote a better comment.
Okay. Everything's just sounded so depressing. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. He's stonewalling you for multiple days because he couldn't get your attention while you were talking to the gate agent. Am I understanding that correctly? How fragile is his ego that he's this embarrassed about standing with your bags for a couple minutes? Why did he even need your attention at that moment anyway? You didn't owe him an apology in the first place. He needs to deal with his own frustrations about the airport without lashing out at you. Is this how he always handles conflict? Blaming, overreacting, and the silent treatment? It is, as we know from her other posts that she wrote in other subreddits, as it seems like. That is like a theme, which is like, just, why are you even together with this kind of man?
Well, as one wise man said, or I don't know who it was actually, but I once heard that you only accept the love you think you deserve. And it's like, damn. If you think you deserve a 34-year-old man that behaves like a 4-year-old child that can't control his own rage and emotion, it's like, oh.
But that saying actually makes so much sense because I asked myself so much, I know why people end up in a relationship like that and say like that. But at the same time, I'm still like, why? Why would you put up with that? And
because she loves him. Amor eterno.
See, but here's the thing. I recently just listened in a podcast where they were also talking about relationships, and someone said, like, you should never in a marriage utter the word divorce. Because if you say that, then you broke the trust and it's done. And I do have to say, I think in some parts I agree, but in other parts I also don't. And I think I agree in the part where you should not throw it around carelessly and just threaten someone with it. But where I don't agree and where I think it's actually dangerous not just to have the mindset of you are not allowed to even think about divorce is because those people also said, obviously, if the relationship is terrible, if it's abusive, then you should divorce. But think about it. If someone, a young, impressionable person, thinks to themselves, okay, a good marriage means you never think about divorce. At what point would that person categorize something then as divorceable enough? You know, being like, okay, this is now a divorceable offense. If you're not doing it beforehand already, like in a way, just setting boundaries. There were times when I told my husband, not that I want a divorce, but where I said, if those things don't change, then I don't think I can stay in this marriage. That would be something where I would consider divorce because it would not be okay for me. But other people could understand that already as, no, you should never say that. Which,
like not considering the possibility of divorce kind of makes you neglect your own individuality.
Yes.
Like you both have the possibility and the choice to be together or not to be together whenever you wanted to.
And to be honest, I think sometimes it's actually good for yourself, but also for your partner, to have the reminder in a way that,
like, I could be gone, man.
Yes,
I could be gone whenever I want. I can I can take the taxi and be gone forever from your life.
But it sounds unromantic. It sounds stupid, but it's true. I mean, yes, you gave a commitment and you decided, but it still doesn't mean that you now have to stay with that person. It still means if you keep on treating me like this husband, then I will be gone. And sometimes communicating that is the most effective, if you also mean it, by the way, and actually do it if it doesn't stop. Because if not, that's the way people end up in abusive relationships, like a kind of OP is now, where she's asking and questioning herself if this is normal. In what world would you think this is normal?
Y se marchó, ya su barco le llamó libertad. Yeah, that kind of vibe. Definitely.
No, but it's a very good saying. So I would never accept that, because I would never accept this kind of love. Someone to treat me like that, because I deserve more. So people need to learn to want more, to really ask for more.
So as Latinas, we would tell OP, like, chica, what are you doing?
Get it
right. Like just stop it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Then you had your decade, you had your 10 years. I think that's enough.
See, what I'm proud of the Latin culture, for me at least, is that I feel like we as women are really strong-headed. Sometimes might be too strong, but I don't care. I'd rather be crazy, stubborn, but independent and proud of myself than submissive. So become a Latina. Believe in yourself. Put yourself on top.
Well, there are also like submissive Latinas. Like we are like, there's of everything there in the Latino community. But yeah, we still have a stronger personality.
Or maybe it's just, at least for me, from the Dominican Republic side, I feel like, because it's maybe an aisle, I don't know.
Your Dominicans are like, I'm not gonna let this man.
Like, I think we're very close to actually Americans there, especially like, and I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but like black women, where we're just like, no, I'm not going to take any man, and I will not stay with you if you don't treat me like a princess. And it's not about having the perfect life and you cannot make mistakes, but it's about, I know my worth, and I will not lower my worth for you. You will have to raise your worth to match me, okay?
Definitely.
And that's how it should be. You should never lower your worth for a man. He should put his standard up.
Yeah, definitely. And I love the sass, like how, you know, how black women or Latinos, they just like show their worth in such an attractive and sexy and confident way. That's something I do love about us Latinos.